Well, thank you for to attend the 8th Annual Human Capital Investment Conference. My name is Tim Rice. I serve as the board chair and president for the National Center for Healthcare Leadership. So welcome. We've got a great program. I'm excited for us to get started. But before I do, I want to tell you a little bit about the good work that we do at NCHL that is supported by many of you in this room. You support us through your membership, through your sponsorship, and help us in many ways. I'm going to be referencing your program so you can follow along and you can learn more about our work and how your organization can get involved if you would like to do that. NCHL believes that to determine the best way forward, we have to cultivate new thinking among all of our leaders and our leaders for the future. I always say at NCHL is the one place that I know of where the practice of healthcare administration and leadership comes together with our academic partners who develop the future leaders. So we've got everybody at the table in order to have an impact on our future leaders. Our programs are at the heart of what we do. We serve our members. Our Leadership Excellence Network and our councils focus on ways that our health systems can pursue strong, diverse, interprofessional leadership at organizational levels. This work is supported by many people here, like Tara Wiederman, I had lunch with today. Tara is from Carillion Health, who chairs our overall Lens Steering Councils. Ted Witherell from Partners Healthcare, who chairs the Interorganizational Coaching Council that was a membership desire that we developed some years ago. Patty Edelman from Northwell Health, who chairs the Physician Leadership Development Council. And Jen Harrington Davis from Henry Ford Health System, who chairs our Diversity and Inclusion Council. I would also like to call out and thank our Lens members who work together to push the envelope and to challenge us, as well as their success, and thank them for the success in the broader healthcare sector. Boston's Children's Hospital, Carillion Clinic, Henry Ford Health System, Johns Hopkins Medicine, Memorial Health System, Moffitt Cancer Center, Mount Sinai Health System, Northwell Health, NYU Health, Partners Healthcare, Rush University Medical Center, and Stanford Children's Health. Let's give them a round of applause for their leadership. We also have a number of members present today who belong to one or more of our various councils, including Bon Secours, Mercy Health, Common Spirit Health, Cone Health, Cleveland Clinic, Trinity Health, UK Healthcare, Stanford Healthcare, Vanderbilt University Medical Center. Wow, that is just an outstanding lineup in those groups of leading healthcare systems in our country. And if your healthcare system isn't in that list, it really should be. So our focus around coaching, diversity and inclusion, physician leadership development, they help us to improve the work that we do within our organizations, but more importantly, in our communities. Another very important activity of NCHL over the last few years is supporting the National Council on Administrative Fellowships. Our membership includes over 80 hospitals and health systems and 40 graduate health management programs. The highlight of the year is our 4th centralized application system. NCAF is chaired by Gina Cronin from the Cleveland Clinic. Is Gina with us? I haven't seen her today, Gina. She's done a great job over the years of developing this. It's a very exciting time in the life of many young careerists who are finishing their graduate studies and entering our field in an important and exhilarating time. These professionals obtain highly competitive administrative fellowships through this program. This will provide them with the intentional executive mentorship, focused rotations, and assignments within their organizations. So we've done a lot of work to standardize fellowships across our field. We want them to have access to high-level executive and board decision-making. We have several current administrative fellows in our room, and so greet them at your opportunity. Finally, one other program is our U.S. Cooperative for International Patient Programs, one of the longest names we have, U.S. Collaborative for International Patient Programs, commonly known as USCIP, which has 65 hospital and health system members. USCIP staff has just returned with many of those members from a trade trek in China, with 18 of our members going on that trade trek. That's the largest contingent of U.S. healthcare systems ever to travel together for such an event, and I heard it opened some doors and yielded some fantastic results for our members. So their goal is to open up markets using the brand Choose US Healthcare and to develop joint ventures, education, and patient services directly to the U.S. More information on all of our programs and our members can be found on pages 21 and 20 of our program and on throughout in the remaining pages there. So please take a look. And again, if you think your organization could benefit from partnering, reach out to Joyce Ann or Andy or myself or any of the board members, and would love to make those introductions. So that's the end of my commercial for NCHL. I hope you can hear my passion for this organization that I've had for a number of years as the chair of the board, watching NCHL grow, but also knowing we can grow much greater with your support in the future. I would now like to introduce Andy Garman, CEO of the National Center for Healthcare Leadership, who will say a few words about our current and future research and our initiatives. Andy, come on up.
Welcome, everybody. How many folks here returning? You've been to one of these conferences before. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm so glad that you made it to Chicago here in November. I'm so glad we were able to arrange for it not to snow yet again. How about that? Don't know how we pull that off. How many folks here for the first time? Hey, welcome. Can we welcome our new visitors? Thank you so much. So Tim did all the hard work talking about the programs, talking about all the great stuff going on here. I just have one more commercial to give you, and it's for the conference program that you already have, and it's the two pieces of contribution that NCHL makes to the field. You can find them on pages 22 and 34. We maintain a competency model on behalf of the field. This is a non-commercial product. We make this available to health systems to give them a really strong starting point to do strategic leadership development. We also run every other year, and that year is coming up in 2020, a Best Organizations for Leadership Development program. It's got an evidence-based survey associated with it. It's an opportunity, if you're doing great work, to get some recognition, and who couldn't benefit from some more recognition for this tough work that often goes underappreciated. But equally importantly, it gives us a database that we can start to continue to strengthen the science around what works in healthcare leadership development. I'm going to turn things over to Joe Mascola here in just a sec, but before I do want to take a moment and thank the NCHL staff for all their hard work and their commitment. Some may be in the room, some may be, we could do that, or we could do the list. What do you think, Sue? I don't know. Sue's enthusiastic. I appreciate that. Did a wonderful workshop this morning. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, everyone, for the great workshops this morning. You give me a mic and you take what you get, right? We got Nilu Faisali, our Conference and Business Development Coordinator, Jarrett Fowler, Senior Manager of USKIP, Aliyah Ibrahim, who couldn't be with us today. She's out in the Middle East. Peter Mouget, both of them support USKIP. Callie Lambert's our Data Manager. She started up with us in USKIP, and now she's supporting across the program, strengthening our data assets, benefiting the members. Chelsea Johnson, our Program Coordinator. I see you, Chelsea, there in the back. Melanie Standish, our newest team member, Lens Coordinator and Researcher, and she's going to be heading up BOLD here next year. That's why her email address is there. If you'd like a notice about when this is available, she's happy to give it to you. She is in the room. Melanie in the house, as is Natasha in the house, front and center. Natasha runs the entire National Council on Administrative Fellowships Enterprise and the Graduate Education Healthcare Management Enterprise. I don't know how you do it, Natasha, but we're also glad that you do. And all of them, last and certainly not least, report up to Joyce Ann Wainio, our Vice President of Operations, our NCHL historian, and overall utility player on behalf of NCHL. Please join me in giving all of them a hand. Okay, now I want to turn things over to our Master of Ceremony, Joe Mascola. Joe is an NCHL board member, just a fantastic person who we asked him to told himself into things, and this year he agreed to lead the event committee. If you look at this program and you say, wow, this is fantastic, I want to show up in this room, as all of you did, we can thank Joe and his terrific event committee. While he's not helping us at NCHL, Joe serves as Senior Vice President and Chief People Officer at Northwell Health in New York, not a small operation to manage. His oversight of initiatives to develop health systems workforce and strengthen employee engagement. You can read more about Joe in the program. I encourage you to. He's a fantastic person, tremendous energy, enthusiasm, and support. But you've heard enough from me. Let's hear from Joe Mascola.
So as Andy described, we were having our event committee call. I literally stepped out of the room for what seemed like, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes. I come back in, and one of my team members, Fritz, was in the room on the call for me, or with me. And I said, hey, Fritz, what did I miss? He goes, oh, you're emceeing the event. I was like, what? How does that happen? So here we are. And so I am delighted to be here. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Tim. Thank you to the NCHL team members who do an absolutely extraordinary job, literally handing me this wonderful binder and say, here, this is what you're going to do. So this is as user-friendly as it possibly could be. So for many of us, the organizations that we are a part of, people represent a significant portion of our operating expense. Anywhere as 55 to in some cases, up to 70% of our operating expense. And so it's an important part of the culture and what we do. And yet, what separates our industry from every other industry, obviously I'm very biased, is in fact the people, that human aspect of what we do. And so this event committee worked very thoughtfully and very hard to put together a dynamic agenda, which is inclusive of challenging topics of today, while including those topics which allow us to reflect and dwell on the opportunities of tomorrow. And then what role will we play as leaders in those opportunities ahead of us? And so true to the conference theme, healthcare powered by people, we're going to take on some really challenging topics, and just to name a few. Some of them may seem daunting on their own accord, but burnout, bias, generational shift, health discrepancies, social determinants, equity, harassment, again, behavioral health, just to name a few. The goal is that we'll discuss these topics, we'll develop a networking over the course of these 2 days, and allow us to come together to create solutions on many of these very challenging topics. But we aim to offer insights, learning, and provoke deeper thought in consideration of solutions that help us to a brighter tomorrow. So as you can imagine, this is an effort of many people. So before we introduce our first speaker, I'd like to first introduce our event committee who put together this incredibly thoughtful agenda, particularly these plenary sessions. And so those who helped out putting this together, I'd like to acknowledge them. If you could hold your applause to the end. So first, Eric Beisagal of Henry Ford Health System, Brittany Bogan of Michigan Health and Hospital Association, Rosalind Carpenter of Common Spirit Health, Kathy Grant of Moffitt Cancer Center, Catherine Power of Sodexo, Susan Recco of Johns Hopkins Medicine, Jeffrey Sims of UNC Chapel Hill, and Ted Witherill from Partners Healthcare. They're all listed on page 6 of the program, but if you would please join me in thanking them for their efforts. In addition, I'd like to thank our event and support sponsors who helped this conference become what it is today, and without their support, it wouldn't be as wonderful as we expect it to be. The American Hospital Association, Cedars-Sinai, my friends and colleagues at Northwell Health, Providence, Catholic Health Associates of US, the Association of American Medical Colleges, Vizient, Carillion Clinic, Epic, Shore People, Common Spirit, Rush University Medical Center, Memorial Health System, Henry Ford Health System, Partners, Aon, Arena, Herzing University, Kaufman Hall, Michigan Health and Hospital Association, One Medical Group, Optum 360, Prominence Advisors, Rosalind Franklin University of Medicine and Science, Spencer Stewart, Syntegrity, and Whit Kiefer. If we could give them a round of applause. At this time, I'd also like to thank and acknowledge our media sponsor, who not only helped to promote the event, but honor our honored guest this evening, and that is Monitored Healthcare. For their continued support, they continue to come back year after year of the conference and leadership award event, and our table, breakfast, and breakout session sponsors. All of them are listed on the inside cover of your program and on the posters outside. So please join me once again in thanking Monitored Healthcare. In addition, we'll take care of some of the housekeeping items. You all should have received the evaluation forms. If you can, as we go throughout the course of these sessions, participate in filling out the feedback for us. There is a QR code at the top, so if you prefer to do this mobily, we'd appreciate that as well. Of course, your feedback is incredibly important to us. It helps us create a robust and dynamic program for next year to make next year even better than this. And so we thank you for that. Before we go to our first speaker, what I would like you to do, this is as much about the networking that we are afforded during these times away from the office. So what I would like you to do is just take a couple minutes just to introduce yourselves to each other at the table. Hopefully you're not at a table of just colleagues from your own organization, but different organizations. So I'm going to give you just a few minutes. Please introduce yourself, where you're from. That would be great.